Mahinder Kumar and Krishna for arranging this one of the very good platform to all the PharmD students and even some faculty members may be there. And I welcome you all for this webinar. The program that is on the topic today is the outline of research methodology. Here we'll be covering the overall glimpse and overall picturization of research methodology. Let me tell you about research methodology. Beginning, the preamble of research methodology. The research methodology is like an ocean, and in the ocean you have many things. Ocean is very quite exhaustible with inexhaustible resources, inexhaustible potentialities in it, and vast, huge, and we have many difficulties to face when we go to the ocean. See, in the same manner, when I correlate with the ocean, the research methodology is the same thing. What we try to focus here is, it's quite challenging. It's quite many difficulties and hurdles and obstacles you will be facing while doing research work. When you overcome all those things, at the end of the things, you get the gemstones. In the same manner, the ultimate research which is put onto the paper and when it is published and when you come out with the good fruitful work, definitely it will boost you. Not only it will give you the personal image, again it will be helpful to the mankind or the society. The whole objective or the whole research methodology objective or the whole thing which I want to put into a nutshell, the research work should be qualitative one, and research work should be for the betterment of the mankind. It should be for the betterment of the society or mankind. That is the main objective, or that is the main purpose of the research work. Now let us begin and let us understand and let us try to ask questions about ourselves. What exactly is research? Why research is essential, or why research is required? What is the purpose of conducting this research work, whether it may be the PhD research work, or whether it may be 6 months pilot project which we used to do in our PharmD project. What gives you the overall idea by doing or by conducting the pilot project or by conducting the PhD? What you will be taking from that one? What you will be gaining from that one is the basic idea. So, according to me, or according to any researcher or any person who is dealing with this topic, research starts from asking questions. It starts from asking questions, and the next step would be you are trying to find answers for those relevant questions which has been raised by you. Okay, what you are doing here, first thing you are asking questions, and what the questions you have raised or what the questions you have in your mind, you try to collect, you try to summarize it, you try to analyze it, you try to interpret the things, and you come up with conclusions stating that this is my research work and I have made it in this manner. Now, lastly, I have said in the last webinar, in the same, if I want to give the example to this, outline of research methodology. Now you have a plan. Suppose you think that you want to construct a house or building. You will be having the blueprint. The blueprint says that the building should be in this manner. You have 3 pillars, or the 4 pillars, or more than that one, or it is 2-floored structure, or whatever it may be. You have total overall idea, the concept which is in your mind. Now, what you do in that blueprint, what is in your mind, you are taking with the help of some engineer or some architecture, and you are coming out with blueprint. He is giving that idea. What you have that idea, he will be showing you in the form of blueprint. How it is. In the same similar manner, here the question he is put forth in you, within you, I want to have a house which should meet my needs, and it should be within my reach. Reach means cost. So here you are going with equity, here you are going with ethics, here you are going with the cost, here you are going with the feasibility, which means it should reach you, not only the financial aspect, even it should not go such an extent that the building of house is so tremendous or so difficulty, it may take around 5 or 6 years. No, it should complete within the stipulated amount of time what you have made up, what is your plan of action. So your all the plan of action, when you execute it in a proper manner, that is research. When you execute it, the execution of the things which is in your mind, so that you want to fill the gaps which are already associated. You want to fill the gaps, you want to build your own knowledge on that topic, that itself is research work. Okay, now the preamble of research, we're going to directly to the preamble of research work. I want to state, or I want to say something new words where you have to understand. I will not take too much of time for doing this activity. Many times we often do mistake and we often conclude stating that search and research are two different phenomena, so they are not equal entities. We compare that one and we say that search and research are both the one and the same. No, it is not one and the same. Search and research, as you see this, all the things, it is two different entities. In research, where we can see all the qualified persons will be there. You are the main goal, what I told now, you want to uncover the new set of idea or new set of data or information. You want to put up you want to add something to it which is existing one, or you want to build the facts now. You want to identify which are the facts which are there, where you can improve the things. And mainly the research work has having the several steps long, and it is constantly monitored by some person. If not at all, the guide who is there, who is keeping eye on you, and he is monitoring you. Ethics committees will be there, regulatory bodies will be there in case of some research work where it is intervention trials will be there or experimental trials will be there, high amount of regulatory activities will be there. And completely many times what happens, it depends on the search results earlier, later on onset, or in the later event or later time onset of action. What you do, you rely on such a data which is reliable one, which is reproducible one, which is valid data where we can rely on it, which is evidence-based data. You start doing research topic by going to the search items. Later on, you end up doing with some well-published or peer-reviewed articles or peer-reviewed journals. That is the main intention of any research activity. Now, the definition of what we see here, research is a systematic process. It's a systematic process of collection of information, analyzing of information, and interpretation of information. So, three things here we can see. One is the collecting or gathering of information, analyzing of information. You start collecting the information. Whenever you say it's a systematic approach of all the things. So it is systematically put into the things in a right manner, in a right direction with your guide. Under your guide, you are doing all these activities. You may set up with guide and you may talk to your guide regarding about the research activity. If you are not finding the particular topics now, today I'll be telling you how to do even literature search also. Okay, I'll be telling you the research engine. We'll be going and we'll be talking about the systematic approach of searching using the search engines. Okay, in the next coming slides, I'll be telling you that one. Here we can see it is a systematic process. You are not collecting the data or any information with haphazardly. You are collecting, you have plan of action. So you are executing the plan of action in a stepwise program, in a stepwise approach. So you are collecting the information, you are analyzing which information has to be added to that one, which information should be analyzed or which has to be removed from the data. You are finally, what you do, your interpretation of data is done by you in taking care of all the data which has been collected by you in a most systematic manner to increase your understanding or our understanding. You want to increase the understanding of the phenomenon. Phenomenon here it's a very big word actually. You want to understand what went wrong over there in that particular research work, what has to be added to the existing research work, and what is a matter of concern to that research work, where existing data, still more things has to be added by you by stating that this is the gaps which I have seen, this is the gaps which is associated in that research work. Okay. Now, see, any research work I'm telling you, you need interest. You need interest if you want to become a topper in the university. You should have firstly you should have interest and desires to become topper in the university. Until and unless you don't have any interest or desires within you, that will not become. You should have that motivation, you should have that fire within you which urges to do something, which will you will come out of that thing that I want to make certain amount of research activity, even matter of 4 years or 5 years, or even if it may go up to 6 or 7 years, no matter. I want to find it out. I want to find it out not for myself, even you can find it out for yourself also, or for the sake of the mankind. So it is fruitful to society, it is fruitful to not even society, definitely it will be fruitful to you, no doubt about it. Okay. Now we will see, and we will directly move to the research, which is 8-step process, which we will be seeing here. What it is, 8-step process, we'll be trying to understand very fast. Okay. So here the research begins in the mind of any researcher. He's asking question. I told you the question should be there, the problem should be there, the problem should be existing one, which you started asking question, you observe the things, you build up such an attitude that there is a problem which you want to recognize, that problem which you want to understand the situations which is existing one, which we want further investigation has to be done on that problem. Okay, that is the first step, which is the foremost step out of 8-step research process questionnaire. So this is given by the David, who has written the textbook on research methodology. Now, next one is the research demands that a researcher, he will articulate the question I'm telling you. Please sit in, even if it is more than 1 hour, please, definitely you will take up certain things by sitting here. Definitely you'll become sure, you will understand the overall picturization of research work. The goal here, what I want to tell about goal, you should articulate your research work, you should have a specific goal. It doesn't mean that, see, even if I want to correlate this thing with your subject now you have decided in your mind that you want to get first in the university. You want to become topper in the university. That is your specific goal. And you cannot keep many goals at a time. You want to keep, I want to become a hardcore basketballer. I want to become a very, I can swimmer or athletic person. I want to run very fast. No, you cannot keep many goals at a time. What happens when you keep many goals at a time? There is a obstacles. Your research work will not become the fruitful work. It will never become the desired one. So there is a deviation of research work. So you should demand, the researcher should specifically articulate a question, a specific goal for the investigative process. That is the second step. Third step, research demands a specific plan of action. So when you want to see, these are all the things, when you want to have a rank in the university, what you do now, you started asking questions, whether I'm able to do, if it comes in your mind, you can't do it. You have a question that I want to take a good rank, I want to score good number of marks in the university, you make a goal. When you make a goal is that very simple goal you have to, I want to secure first topper in the university, or top 10 toppers among the university. The goal is very specific now. Then the goal itself is not at all sufficient in understanding that you have met the requirements. Then you started interpreting, or you have to do the plan. You have to plan in such a way that you started doing the plan, how I have to secure good marks in the university. You started asking many things. You take all the things now. Now you are planning in such a manner that 1 month I will study this one, 2 months I will study this one, 3 months I will give for this subject. The specific plan should be there. That is nothing but specific plan should be very in accordance with the goal. The question is different, goal is different, and plan itself is different. Total it will become, it does not have any connectivity from this thing. So it will become irrelevant and it is not coherence. So it should be coherence should be there, so that when you start asking question, you should have the same goal and you should have the same specific plan for that particular goal. Next thing would be problems. Whenever you state up the problems. Whenever you do any activity, not only in the research work, not only in anything, when you start doing any small job, there will be problems emerging. You started asking problems now. What happens if the problems are too much, or if the problems are too extensive, or if the problems are very complicated? What you will do in the midst of the research? You will forget that research. This research is not my cup of tea. You think that this research is not in my reach. It is beyond the reach of me. So I will just discontinue this research because it contains many complications. Many complications are there. Many hurdles are there. Many obstacles are there. So I will stop this research. I don't want to do this research activity because it is associated with problems. The best idea, what he says now, problems are there. That problems has to be divided into sub-problems. By dividing so, what you will do, you can become, the research work will become more manageable. It becomes easy to you to tackle the problems. So you should divide the problems into sub-problems now. Finally, in the fifth one, you should generate certain amount of hypothesis now. Now, because research work is hypothesis driven. And sixth one says, the research work should always have some critical assumptions. They use the word called as axiomatic. AXIOMATIC. They use the word axiomatic, which is for research work. Axiomatic is nothing but which is essential for research work to be processed. So if you want to proceed to the research work, a good research work, you should have certain assumptions which need to be fulfilled. Assumptions can be fulfilled or it may not be fulfilled. It depends upon entirely on the research work, what you bring into action. But there should be certain assumptions, there should be certain hypothesis driven, the critical assumptions, and you should have axiomatic, what I'm telling that, you should have certain amount of interest and understanding in that assumptions. If you don't understand the assumptions, what you are making, everything, you don't have understood the basic fundamental principles of research work. You should understand the topic first. You should try to put the question. The question should be understanding by you, or if you don't understand, you should take the help of your guide. I want to make this topic. I want to get this topic. I don't know how to take up this topic. I don't know how to articulate a specific question or specific plan. Everything can be set together with your researcher, which is nothing but contract between you and the supervisor. You can sit with him and you can plan accordingly. And whenever you start generating the assumptions, the main thing, collection of data and interpretation of data has to be done without manipulating and giving the things, the data, what you are collecting, the collection of information or interpretation of information, it should be proper one. When you start doing all manipulations without the facts, the data will not become reproducible one. It cannot become reproducible one. I'll be telling you in my coming slides what is reproducible. Okay, so research by the nature, the 8 principles, research by the nature itself is a circular in nature. It's like a circular in nature, or more exactly, it is called as helical process. What we will see, helical or cyclical process. We will see this research cycle. We'll try to understand very short span of time. Research begins with problem. I told you, research sees the goal in clear statement. Now you are developed the specific plan. You want to bring the statement very clear. This is the problem is there. You have understood the problem. You want to bring a specific goal or plan now. Then you divide the problems into sub-problems. Then you start researching into postulates. You bring up with tentative solutions or solutions for generation of hypothesis which have been generated. Then what you do, you start gathering of information or collection of information. You organize the data in a very systematic manner, which is related to the problem, which is related to the specific problem, what you have postulated. You want to try, gather information. You have gathered the information, organizing the information, which is related. Again, I'm using the word, I'm stressing this word related, because when this word is removed, it will become again problem. The research work is not good research work, because you have generated data, you have collected the information, you have done everything correct, but it is not related to this particular hypothesis, or it is not related to the specific goal. So everything will become, it's becoming in vain. So you should understand the problem. You should understand that problem is related to the the postulates what you have generated, the hypothesis which you have generated. So it should be hypothesis driven one. And lastly, we can see here in the this cyclical process, research interprets the data to resolve the problems. Okay. Now we will try to understand this research methods versus research methodology. People usually interchange or they speak one and the same. It is not one and the same. The research methodology itself is a very big topic. The science of studying how research is done scientifically using all the things is nothing but research methodology, where all the things comes in the research methodology. So research methodology involves research design and research methods. So okay, research methods cannot be spoken interchangeably with research design. Design is different. Which design you are going to choose in the research work? Whether you want to choose descriptive form of data, whether you want to choose the case studies, which is nothing but descriptive, or you want to study case series, you have taken series of cases now, or whether you want to go for such a data where from back in time, like retrospective type of analysis you want to do, or you want to do the prospective cohort studies. Usually the farm days, we do the prospective type of approach. Sometimes intervention is involved, prospective intervention studies or prospective cohort studies, which is a good data driven, which is a fair amount of data you can get. And it is a continuous onset. It's forward in time. So you can get data, you can keep the eye on the patient, you can keep eye on the data. You can get the data very easily. It is manageable. Okay. Whereas sometimes when you go for a retrospective type of analysis, what happens? Sometimes you may miss the data, or the data what you have taken, sometimes it is not available. There are many questions. There are many disadvantages of any research design, how you go to that research design, how you choose the research design, how you choose the data, how you put the statistical tool for implementation or calculation of data is very important. Total research methods or research design and research methodology, all these things, research design methods and all the statistical tools, analyzing, interpretation, everything comes under the research methodology. Design is such a thing that you choose a specific design to study, to come to the conclusion, to come to study that particular thing, whether it may be cross-sectional study, it's a single point of time, or which I have told just now, whether it may be prospective or retrospective type of cohort or case control studies. Many times what happens in industries, in pharmaceutical industries, they may go for experimental study designs like RCTs, randomized control trials. Okay, let us go to the objectives of research very fast. So research mainly comprises all the problems, identifying the problems, redefining the problems, generating the hypothesis, collection of information, evaluating data, deductions and reading conclusions. Now, anything has to be deducted where the existing one has something wrong in it, something bias is there, something errors are associated in the existing one, so it has to be deducted now. All it is nothing but careful consideration and monitoring of the data to finally come to the conclusions, to determine whether they fit to the hypothesis or whether they fit to the formulating of assumptions which has been made by you. So what we do here and what we try to understand here in the introduction to the research design, we plan, we propose, we execute, and at last we communicate. To whom you are communicating and how to select a research topic, everything is a very difficult task. I told you today we'll be studying about the selection, how to do the literature search. I'll be telling you within 5 minutes. Okay, just have the concentration. And the first and foremost step in the research work itself is selection of a research topic. How you raise the question, which the question you have, how you made the topic into research topic itself is a difficult, most challenging task. Selection of research topic is a very constraint for any graduate or PG or PhD holders. So it has to be carefully chosen with your guide, under your research supervisor or under your guide. You have to select a topic of your interest. First, you should have particular interest. It speaks about the interest here. It speaks about many things here. Whenever I want to go for a research work, it speaks about the curiosity, that is I told you interest, the sample design should be feasible. You take such a design and the design itself is a very complicated and you have to face many problems. Sometimes it is not manageable by you by cost wise. It is too costly. You can't manage the research work for 3 or 4 years. So you have to select a topic with sitting with your guide. The topic should be feasible one. Feasible means it should be, you should carry out the research work without any problem. That is all the things you should take care while selecting a proper research topic. Second, the process of ensuring quality in research. Last time I told you the same thing. The survey conducted by India Today with the help of all the PhD investigators and the survey has been made and I think 3 months before the article was there in India Today, 95% of the research work is not having quality. Means they don't have the qualitative research work. It is just a volume building. They want to add some volume to that one, which is very, very devastating, which is very detrimental to the society, where it is not useful to the society in any way. So research work, any research work, you should stick to that principles or attributes without compromising the quality in the research work. When you compromise with the quality, when you do all the manipulations, then it is beyond the facts. The facts are not there. Only you are just manipulating. There will be errors. There will be bias. There will be bias in interpretation. There will be bias in gathering the data. There will be bias in total results. And there will be bias. Total bias will be there. And there will be bias. Publication bias also will be there. Because you are putting all the false information to the research paper stating that this is the thing. This went well. Whole thing is not fruitful to the society, neither it is good to the research process. What you have taken. Next thing, literature evaluation, the journal club. How you evaluate literature, it is a very tricky thing. How to evaluate literature? There are many thousands and thousands of literature are there. Which literature has to be taken? Always consider taking use or getting use of such a literature or such a journal, the published article, which is having a high amount of impact factor. So many literatures, what happens in the same way, what I told the bias, the thing will be something, the statistical design will be something. There is no coherence between the design or the method which they have adopted, or there is no coherence between the question which is put forth. The specific goal is not there, research work will never become successful. So literature evaluation, journal club is utmost essential, especially for the foundees. You should have the good habit of reading and analyzing a research paper that is published in literature or in journal club. See, journal club we do in our college work, it's an activity that is designed to develop critical sense of reading. Why you do journal club? You do journal club, it will develop a critical sense of reading, critical sense of evaluating the literature. You do the journal club not only to present in front of the lecturer or what is, you are evaluating, you will think that you are a researcher. You should take sufficient amount of time while giving the journal club evaluation. I mean journal club in your college or class. So that what happens here, when you do the journal club, you are not only giving the journal club, you should think that I am a researcher who have taken or who have conducted the research work, and you should critically evaluate all the research work in the most advanced way. You should take the help of the computer systems. Many things are there, many things are available, many open access journals are available, which is free of cost. You can definitely go to such a journals, which is like highly impacted journals. Like you can take the BMG open access, British Medical Journal open access. You can go for Indian Journal of Pharmacy Practice, which is open access, where you not to pay, buy any, you don't have to pay even single penny of your money. So many research journals are open access. You can make use of that research access, and you can critically evaluate the data. How to evaluate the literature, how to do literature evaluation, how to do journal club. You can think about that one. Okay. Next step would be research objectives and implementation of proper statistical design. Research objectives are set after literature evaluation. You are now what I have done in the third step, you have evaluated the total literature. You have done all the things. Now you want to come to the next step. You want to implement the objectives of the researcher, and you want to implement. You are going with the statisticians. Now you take the help of statistician. Madam, I want to this one, or sir, I want to do this research work. How much sample is required? What madam or what that the statistician will do? She will take the articles which are there, which should be correlated. Your question should be correlated with that article. You are showing something, the article is something more. It should correlate. Then based on that article, based on many softwares are available, she will be calculating the data, and you are coming up with statistical design. I mean, the particular data is collected. I mean, the particular statistical design she will be telling you. Based on that, she'll be revealing you information about how much sample size has to be kept for your study. This can be done with the help of a statistician or one who is expert in conducting research work. Now, what you have to do? Now you design, statistical design has been done around the research objective setup. Then the next step, what you do in this one, whether you want to prove the objective or whether you want to disprove the objectives. Okay, whether objectives has met or not met. Many things has to be taken care while selecting research objectives. Next thing would be the proposal of research. Proposal of research is a very difficult task. A research proposal has to be made on the research project that is being chosen. How you choose the research work or research objective, everything depends upon how you propose that one in front of others. Normally, research proposal is a written document, or sometimes it is a PowerPoint. Many times nowadays, we give the PowerPoint presentation that would give enough power to talk about all aspects of the research work, isn't it? Now, next step would be research methodology. Again, here is the big thing: execution of data and management of data. After research proposal, whatever in the fifth step, what do we do? Now research proposal has been made by you. Now you start doing this methodology. Now you start methodology to carry out research is established. Now you start put forth which data has to be taken. What is the patient population? What is the patient size? Everything you have taken from the research proposal. Now you methodology, you sit up with how much data has to be included, how much data has to be excluded from that one inclusion. I'm speaking about inclusion and exclusion criteria. Exactly. The inclusion and exclusion criteria has to be made by you, which has to be included, which has to be excluded, because that is a very, very important step. Are framed after this inclusion and exclusion are framed to take the study population which is feasible, which is required for a study population. An appropriate study design is chosen, and what happens, and data is executed and it is managed accordingly. I'm using the word accordingly. Data has to be managed accordingly, means in a most planned way. You have to execute the information which have been made. How to write in the examination is an art of writing examination. Everybody knows many things, but the representation of the things should be very proper, that the examiner, it should be like eye-catching. Immediately you will have to involve such things in that examination. It should become like eye-catching. Oh, immediately the examiner will understand that this is the eye-catching words. Definitely your marks will be total 100%. That is the thing. Research methodology and execution and management has to be done in the most successful manner as per the guidelines which has been framed. As per the guidelines, as per the standard operating procedures, you have to make up all these things. Next thing would be the data compilation and analysis. Data what has been obtained in the research work is combined now. Okay, what you do now, the data which has been obtained from all this one, you compile that one, you gather everything. Okay, compilation is nothing but gathering of the information. Data means information. So you gather all the things in a most systematic manner, which data has to be put first and in the serial wise. Now you gather all the things and start generating analysis. Now you start generating analysis. Whenever I said analysis, you analyze the data based on the hypothesis which has been driven by you. Okay, it is hypothesis driven. Next is scientific communications here. Scientific communications, what we do here, it can be either through poster presentation or publication, you communicate with the scientific entities. Scientific entities may be ethical committee, whatever may be the thing. You present your thing with abstract, which contains all the things in the design of the study. You in a single page document, which comprises of all the objectives now. Okay, which comprises of all the objectives or the objectives of the research, methodology, results, and keywords. I'm telling you, it should not be too long. When the abstract or when the information is too long, what happens now? It is not the matter. It should be the maximum time frame is given there. Within 15 to 20 minutes, it should be completed. It should have maximum of 250 words. 250 or 270 words maximum. You have to complete all the things, and you have to communicate with scientifically to the scientific committee, whether it may be ethical committee or whether ethical committee members. There are doctors will be there, statisticians will be there. They are critically evaluating your data, whether the research work is justified or not justified. So your proper justification is required for. Next thing, manuscript for the publication. A research work can be published in any journal. It depends upon you how you want. If you want good publication, there are some paid journals are there. You have to pay them. Some open access journals are there. You can publish your data, or you can publish your journal. Or journal editors will not accept your data because it is a copy and paste. So here I want to emphasize the selection of research topic is very, very important. The first and foremost step to carry out in research work is, as I said, qualitative research work. Quality is always paid. Qualitative one is always paid. The quality is compromised. You will not stay long time over there. So when you do the quality work, it will be paid for you. It will be remembered forever, and it is always fruitful. So selection of an appropriate research project depends on you. It depends upon your guide. It depends upon many things. So it is fundamental, something that can be developed by your own. It should be any research work. Why the Indian people, they are not getting more research work published? In the research work, we will see a research work should be, these are the fundamental characteristics of research project, the basic fundamental characteristics. It should be first of its kind in nature. First of its kind in nature means original thought should be there. You should have original idea for investigation. You should have the originality of research work. You see, I told you you have to evaluate. You have to go to the literature evaluation. You have to go to the whether any existing data there is changes required. Definitely you can go for literature evaluation. If literature evaluation is not available for your research, well and good, you can start your own research work. That is at most good, because the research work will become first of its kind. Means your work will be published and it is first of its kind. Okay, you should essentially answer the gaps which I told you, and selection of research projects should be such that it can address the controversies that are present in published literature. So many times what happens now, they go for publishing literatures which is full of bias, which is full of errors will be there. Bias are nothing but errors. There are different types of bias that may not go to the epidemiological part, like publication bias, selection bias will be there. There are many types of bias will be there, not go to the other part of the things. So whenever you want to avoid bias, or whenever you want to recognize that particular controversies which is there, you should be you should have sound knowledge. That will be told you in the next slide. Okay, the research project should either agree or disagree with the published literature. You are completely agreeing with literature. Yes, literature is correct. I agree with the statement which has been made by the literature. The work is correct. What the method they have adopted, or what the statistical design tool they have implemented, that is correct. The design implementation of statistical tool or implementation of all methodology is correct as per the guidelines, as per the requirement. It is coherence is there from starting from asking the question and till the end of the project. Results are correct. Its coherence is there. When we compare the results are reproducible. But that result is you are agreeing the statement which has been done by you. But when you don't agree, that is when you disagree with the published literature, you should have the genuine reasons why you are disagreeing with the statement made by you. Okay, a research can either support or refuse what is already known. Okay, there is a very important thing. Research, types of research depends on these things, topic, which research area or arena, or the basic topic of interest. The foundations for quality research, I'm telling you, any foundations for quality research, these three basic entities, the fundamental principles, which is foundation principles for quality research, is knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, suppose, think that I'm giving an example for you. You are conducting a research survey on, maybe you think that on hypertension or on diabetes mellitus, whatever it may be. You should know what is hypertension. You should know the pathophysiology of hypertension. You should know the biological mechanism of antihypertensive drugs. Then only you can conduct a research. This drug is not, it should not be given as per the guidelines. If you don't know, you can follow the guidelines. You should become knowledgeable. Then only when you have sound knowledge is very much essential for performing the qualitative research work. If you don't have sound knowledge in basic sciences or the fundamental sciences, carrying out research project will be having a great difficulty. All the project what is you are carrying out, it will be in vain. So proper understanding the subject, knowledge is nothing but understanding the subject is required. Practice core capabilities, which is nothing but you are practicing the core capabilities that are used in the research becomes mandatory. Core capabilities can be practiced through practicing different techniques. When these things lack any research that is being performed, becomes unpredictable. You should have the intention of predictability. This requires proper amount of practice. So when you understand the things, then only you can have the prediction capacity. It's not like a horoscope who are predicting the information. You have done the research work now. You are predicting the data. This may be the results I'm predicting now. You should have that idea. How you can come to know when you have sound knowledge, when you have sufficient practicing or practice core capabilities and skills, then only this thing is meeting. Otherwise, you can't predict the things. Okay. And last one is ethics or integrity. Ethics should be essentially followed while carrying out any research work. If the research work is deviating from the principles of ethics, definitely the research work without ethical permission, or when you if it's not of ethical things is not met, the research work is of no use. Okay, the research content or results or conclusions what you have drawn from the research work should be exactly reported as without any making any changes. If something goes wrong, the error should not be masked, and same thing should be reported even if it is too much. I mean it is not too. I mean it is telling that this is the correct thing what I have done, but we got something bad, wrong information. You have to tell that the same thing in front of your guide. We have done this one as per the guidelines, as per the standard operating procedures, but we got this information. When you mask that information, when you start manipulating, when you are not telling the facts which are there, the truth, mainly research work, what I told just now, the research work is nothing but to find the truth. When you are deviating from the truth principles, when you tell the lies, it's not research. Okay. And lastly, we will see the essential entities for qualitative research work. Literature search, I think something went out. It is here. Now, essential entities for quality research work, what we see, there are many things which should be known by us while conducting the research work, the qualitative research work. First, the context, what I'm telling is context or relevance. Already I told you, it should be relevance. Whatever that is being done in research should be context to the research proposal plan or area, and it has to be ensured there is some contact or some mutual interdependence on one another. Plan is something, goal is something, everything is haphazard. So there is no proper information. Strategy, it should have well structured, a protocol is designed, it should definitely have particular strategy. So every protocol is a standard operating thing, no, everything we will be having, it should have certain amount of strategy. Then, have particular strategy. You should not never, or you are not supposed to deviate from achieving the research objective. Always adhere to the guidelines. Always adhere to the strategy which has been made in the research work. The process methodology what you are adopting, that is being chosen must be relevant. If there is no relevance to research methodology and the conclusion that you have drawn, then the research work probably becomes a futile research. It is of no use. The outcome and data results. The outcome is mainly you are getting through data or results, isn't it? What is your data which you have got from the research work? The outcomes that you have obtained after research work has to be analyzed carefully. You have to analyze whole set of information very carefully, because now you are coming up with the results. You should get the results what you have predicted. The data results should support the conclusion what you want to make it. Okay, it should support the conclusions you want to derive it. If it is not conclusion driven, then whole thing what you have done up to from context to this one, it will become in vain. It's of no use. Last one would be impact, which you can see that two words here. One is applicability and other one is predictability. How your applicability, how you are applying the impact of research findings should be evaluated based on understanding of research objective. Whole thing, how you have understood what is your impact towards the study, what is the impact towards the research objective. Okay, any research would be of great value only if the presence of all essential entities are there, and it adds to the volume of science. If one is missing in somewhere, then core values are missed, it will become just you are increasing the volume of publication without really increasing the value of information. What you do here, one is missing, you are just adding one more PhD, or if you are adding one more burden of information, but it will never give you the increase of information. The value of information is lost over. Now we will see the essential characteristics for good research include, I'll be taking very fast this one. One, you should have analytical thinking. It is very absolute essential for any researcher. You should think analytically. You should have the thinking capacity of analyzing the things. Okay, that is nothing but analytical thinking. Why this component is essential in this research work? Maybe the question for analytical thinking. Out of box thinking. Out of box thinking means somebody is thinking thing. You should think in such a manner that it should be out of box. Okay, it should be something apart what he is thinking. How the ranker who is scoring first thing, getting first rank in the examiners, he has written something apart from the normal guy. Out of box writing, out of box thinking. You should think separate, which stimulates the thoughts of authors of research papers when a research project is being proposed or when many research papers are read. That is the out of box thinking. When you come out of the box, then you come to the conclusion this is something apart. You should evaluate critically. You should do the evaluation in a most critical way. That is critical evaluation of all the things. Before coming to the conclusion, what you do, it is essential to critically evaluate the data. What you do here, you are critically evaluating the whole thing, whether it may be data which is obtained and data which is to be reported, which you got. Okay. The next thing would be ability to question. See, no research work will never become successful, I'm telling you, if you don't question yourself, or somebody is going to question, the guide is questioning you, it will never become successful. So every step, every point of time, you should develop habit of asking questions to the author without having a feeling of ignorance. Now you are questioning yourself, why this went, why this not. Without having the feeling of ignorance and fear, you should start asking questions. It should be in a genuine and fair way. Okay, sincere way, you should ask questions. Why I got this type of data? Why this not data? I have conducted study in this manner. Why I got this? Let me conduct the study again. Okay, I'm not satisfied. Ability to make assumptions. So assumptions, I told you in last slide, it is based on certain assumptions, and hence it is essential to make assumptions to progress research. If you want to progress in research, you should have certain type of assumptions which has been made by you, whether research work is going as per the assumptions made by you, or whether it is deviating from the principles of assumptions which has been made by you. Okay, so you are acknowledging the whole assumptions. Always prove, you have the ability to prove or disprove the things. Okay, what has been made, the assumptions which has been made by you. Now, the last thing that, last but one, ability to predict errors. I told you, predicting something is going wrong is done only through practice. I told you in my last slide, practice will tell you how to predict these errors. Predictability of errors. I'm predicting these errors. I have recognized. You can do it. You can identify the mistakes only when you become very good researcher. Okay, you cannot identify the mistakes when you don't learn. When you don't have sound knowledge, how you can identify the mistakes until and unless if you know the topic. You should know the topic very well. You should understand the gravity of the subject. Then only you can predict different errors which are there. So it becomes very familiar to you. So you familiarity, practice, understanding, and ability to control the circumstances. Now all these things will add up to the prediction of errors. Lastly, ability to develop alternate plans. This last plan, what happens now? You have done all the things correct, but not giving the results. Now you have to you should be able to change if you are not getting as per the required one, or plan an experiment if it is going in a way has design and ability to a design which is you are not getting the result. What you do here, you got separate experiments and results are totally different. You got something different, totally different you got even after applying all the principles of ethics and everything. Then you start thinking about the critical evaluation again. Then you come to the conclusion stating that this design is not suitable to this research work. So I have to change, I have to go for alternate plans for doing again. Again, it's a tedious work. It consumes a lot of your time over there. Now I will come to the literature evaluation and journal club. Today I'll be telling you around 5 to 10 minutes of how to evaluate literature and search using the internet, how to evaluate literature, how to search literature in the search engines. A researcher should carry out literature search at the beginning of research project, which is very much required. I will tell you, literature search is done by putting the right keywords. Please try to concentrate on these things which I'm showing now, just now. Right keywords, I'll be telling you in my next slide, I'll be showing you. Relevant, the right keywords which should be relevant to the research in the search engines. The right keywords which you are putting, which you are feeding, which you are doing, it should be relevant to the research work in the search engines. If you put the wrong words, never and ever do such things in the research, you will never get the right title. Right literature, right kind of literature, you won't get it. You start doing literature search will never end. Okay, so a list of published literature on the research topic will be displayed, then the information should be collected and you should read that information in a proper manner. Therefore, it is essential that researcher must be in track, he should be in a proper track and update his knowledge through literature evaluation. He should update whenever it is required. We will see and we will try to understand this literature evaluation. Now, here I have taken this journal is from, it will be here always, JMCP. The journal name is, you can go, it is a free access journal, it is available, www.amcp. AMCP it is. AMCP means American Academy of Managed Care Pharmacists, Journal of Managed Care Pharmacists, JMCP. This journal is JMCP. Journal of Managed Care Pharmacy, 2013, you can see the volume and all those things. So first, I will tell you, these are high impact journals, which is open access, you can download it, in a PDF format, whatever you want. See this research now, from the PharmDs and other, it is only for PharmDs, clinical pharmacy. Now, reducing cardiovascular medication complexity in a German university hospital, effects of structured pharmaceutical management interventions on adherence. So I was telling you from beginning till now, I was highlighting some words, what is already known about this subject, what is already there in this research work, what has to be added in this subject. So two things are there here. One, what is already known in this subject, you can see what is already known in this subject, new therapeutic options, and an aging population with increasing comorbidities resulting high complex therapeutic medication regimens. Previous analysis suggests that complex therapy regimen attribute to poor adherence to long-term medications in chronic diseases. This may lead to suboptimal health outcomes and progressive healthcare cost. What is telling, this the author is telling, adherence is not there. Adherence is not there. So there is a, what happens? Proper outcome is not there. Okay, this may lead to suboptimal health outcomes. Suboptimal means proper health outcomes is not attained, and healthcare cost is also increased. Now, what this study is adding apart from this, already it is known, this study adds, the complexity of cardiovascular medication can be significantly reduced in hospital by switching to long-acting substances combination. So he's telling that to make use of long-acting substances combination drugs and units. They need to be, that do not need to be split. So they are splitting that one. He is telling that long-acting substances combination has to be added.